booties for black girl nerds.
Mr. Sikora, I've always known that Tommy Egan was a real one, but today I've been learning how much Joseph Sikora is a real one. Anthony Flemming almost made me cry talking about how he got laid off right before you gave him the call for the role. And the rest of the cast have been telling me these wonderful stories about working with you on this series and how it's already changing their lives. So what are 2 or 3 things that bring you the most joy about leading this cast and leading this series?
Well, I got to say that I only could get people to the free throw line and they made the basket themselves. And I think to me, that's the most satisfying thing, just knowing that I'm with such an incredibly talented, skilled group of actors that make work play. And you can't beat that for as you know, in all of our jobs, that when work isn't work, we know we're doing the right thing. And from Anthony Flemming III to Guy Van Swearingen to Lucien Cambric to Kris Lofton, and we've been watching him since Hardball, and now he really has a chance and a platform to shine and be the incredible actor that we all know that he is. Isaac Keys is incredible as his brother Diamond Sampson. The great Tommy Flannagan, he's insurpassable. He is riveting to watch. Every time I watch any of these episodes, I cannot take my eyes off of him. Lili Simmons, Shane Harper, who play his offspring in there, to Ahmad Ferguson, another Southside native who is incredible, who plays D-Mac's partner in crime. So I was truly, truly blessed with an unbelievably talented cast, and I had the best time of my life, the best experience of my life so far.
What I've enjoyed I've seen episode 1 of the show, and what's new to me for the Power universe is to see a real mob crime family that is in the mix, so to speak, with Tommy when he lands in Chicago. How does that change the dynamic of the Power universe? Like we've seen, all the previous versions where, there's people who are on top of it, but not like a true crime family like the Flynns. Mm-hmm. How does this bring that new unique element to an already fantastic universe?
First off, it's the backdrop is different. So it's unique. It's true. It is unique by definition. It's a one of a kind. It's not taking place within the 5 boroughs of New York. So I always say it's like the Power world has now expanded truly into the Power universe by going away from New York. We also find Tommy, who lives, breathes, and just is the essence of New York, a product of Southside Jamaica, Queens. And so how is he going to survive as a true fish out of water? We've established in the Power show, he doesn't like being in Chicago. As soon as he was done with Jason Mitchell, played by Mike Dopid in season 4, he's like, can I go home now? I just want to get back to New York, So now that he's stuck in Chicago, he can't return home. The mafia is against him. The Serbian mob is against him. The Tejadas are now against him. The street gangs, he's got no infrastructure. He can't go back to New York. So there's a difference when you choose to leave and when you are forced out. When you are in exile and you long for your hometown, how does it change? What's the mental capacity to survive and thrive in a totally new environment? And to me, as an actor, that was the most fun to play. And I get to play with all these brilliant actors around me.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, Tommy is going to encounter some new things in this series. Does power by definition corrupt? Is a character like him corruptible? Someone who kind of plays within crime? Usually power by definition, people ask if it corrupts them or whatever, but he already lives within this
right, within a corrupt world. There is corruption. So I think he knows how to navigate that corruption. And, power is really what we are able to get other people to do, whether it's wearing a badge and saying I'm a police officer so I can order you around, whether it's having a crown on your head and saying I'm king. It's only how people interpret you that actually gives you that power. So how are people going to interpret Tommy? What are people going to do? What kind of reputation is Tommy going to earn? Because people don't know who he is now. He doesn't have that reputation. It's not like, oh yeah, I heard of that crazy white boy out of Queens. Yeah, no, he's been doing stuff with his brother Ghost for years. They're like, I don't know who this guy is. So he's got a show. It's a man of action. And what's more fun to watch than something in motion? So we get to watch this guy blaze into town and keep going. It's like Cecil B. DeMille says, you start with an earthquake and you build from there.
Mm-hmm. Well, sir, I appreciate your time. You are a master artist. I enjoy your work so much, and it's just been an honor to talk to you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful season.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. I have been waiting for this. I am excited. And I love what the Flynn family brings to this. It's a different dynamic to have a family, a powerful family. There hasn't been a unit in the power universe until now. Lili, beginning with you, strong, intelligent women have always been centered in the power universe. What makes Claudia different from the other versions of strong women that we've seen in the power universe? Because she's very unique in her approach to the business.
Great question. I think Claudia is different in that she's got a roadblock in front of her, which is her father. Even though I love him so much. And he's, stuck in his old ways. Women belong in the kitchen, men belong in the business, but she still knows the business very well. She runs the books for the family, and she's bursting at the seams to show her father what she can really do. She's loyal to her family, almost to a fault, but they're not letting her show her skills, show her smartness. She totally deserves that seat at the throne. And she might have to look at other places to get what she really wants.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, you, for Walter, taking that seat on the throne comes with, when you're working with your family, it has its own complications and things, particularly in a family like this. What makes a mob family different than, say, like auxiliary crime units? Because now you have a whole unit, you're managing the business, and you have to manage all the personalities of the children who exist within this crime family.
He's obviously a very smart man. I mean, he's been running Chicago for 30 something years. He's the top of his game. He's making a ton of money, and he's still alive. So there's something going on. He ain't no fool. And he's never sheltered his kids from this world. He wants his kids to be part of this world and to grow and take over and hand down the reins. So I think he's a very powerful man, and he ain't no fool. He's not one-dimensional, you know what I mean? I don't think there's such a thing. To get to that level in his world, I think he got to be something. I mean, his saying's one thing, but there's got to be some intelligence there. So I think the story will unfold, and you're going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely have enjoyed episode 1. One last question, Lili. Well, the power universe mostly is shrouded in secrecy. We've known that this show was coming, but we didn't know fully what it would entail. So how do you celebrate getting the call to say, hey, you're going to be part of growing this whole new thing? Because it's very different from the other shows in the universe.
Oh my gosh, I was ecstatic. I was actually with my mom when I found out the news. So it was fun to be with somebody else, especially someone who I know has supported me and loved me and been there for me this whole journey. And yeah, so I was thrilled to be part of Courtney Kemp's vision, 50 Cents, beautiful world. And yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be the best spinoff yet. And I kind of knew that with Joseph Sikora leading us. But yeah, just so excited. I'm so lucky. We have an incredible cast.
I love it. You guys start with a boom, and I'm here for it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful season. Gentlemen, I have been excited to talk to both of you. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. This show is crazy, and it hasn't even started yet. People have been waiting for a long time to see this latest version of the Power universe. It's new, it's unique and different. What I like about Diamond and Jenard is that I feel like they're yin and yang to this big crime family, the Flynns that we have. And we have another crime family, but maybe they're not the same type of family like the Flynns. Beginning with you, Isaac, for Diamond, we are welcoming, he's coming back, and he's back in the city and ready to sort of pick things up. What was the most exciting thing about this role when you read it?
Uh,
Did we lose Isaac?
yeah. I think the most exciting role, what's the most exciting thing about the role was, first off, was just the kind of the journey, in the sense of like, who is Diamond? Like, who he used to be? Who he wants to be? Does he want to be that person anymore? And if he wants to be that person, how does he act then? If he doesn't, how does he act? Like, which path is he going to take? And I think he's always wanted to be in a place of power, a place of leadership, because that's what the place he's put in. Sometimes we're put in places even though we're not necessarily ready for it. And I think that's what he did for his brother. He put him in a place that he wasn't necessarily ready for. Because honestly, I believe Diamond didn't want his brother to be a part of this, but he needed him to be a part of it because it was something that he built, and that's their way of life. That's their way of life. That's what they're accustomed to. So him coming out of incarceration, he has placed his brother in this situation. So now he's kind of hard on his brother. He's still like on his brother, like, okay, well, I see you doing some things. It's basically, now at the point where it's like, Jenard has made this meal, and I just come in and eat it. But I don't know all the work that he's been putting in on cooking this meal, all the ingredients, and going to the grocery store and all that. So it touches on a lot of different things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. I like how you put that, Isaac. For you, Kris, for Jenard, with being placed in power is a very different thing than choosing it. Is that something he will struggle against? Is it something he embraces? What is the key to Jenard's happiness within this structure that they have?
Right. Yes, ma'am. I do agree with you. I do agree that being placed in power and actually working towards the power are two different elements. It's a different mind frame. And I feel like Jenard was placed in a situation that he necessarily might not have wanted, but he felt like he owed it to his brother out of loyalty, because he's my family. He's the only family I got. So I'll do anything for him. He raised me. So now he needs me, and I have to be there for him. I have to be able to have money to send him on his books while he's in prison. I have to be able to keep his name and his legacy strong. So I felt like I had to become someone. And maybe I may or may not be happy with the person that I'm becoming. But I think the scary thing and the great thing about Jenard is he may be starting to like it. And I think that's one thing that excited me when I first read this role, to go back to your question. I think that's what excited me, the fact that Jenard wasn't too far on one side of either spectrum. I like that. I don't like really playing characters who are too far of one thing. I don't want to be too nice. I don't want to be too mean. I don't want to be too much of the bad guy. I love the fact that Jenard is multifaceted. He's intellectual, but he is maybe a bad guy, but he's a nice guy, but he's also a brother, but he's also this. That's what I loved so much about this character, because it gave me an opportunity to actually show range and just remove those layers and be able to show the audience that there's more to a person, even if he is selling drugs and killing people. He's still a person.
That was a great answer, brother. That was a great answer.
Try to do what I can do when I can do it, Chief.
I know that's right. Well, I'm excited. They are giving me the Sandman hook, but I'm excited for people. Have a wonderful season. I cannot wait, because you guys kick it off with a bang. So thank you so much for your time, and enjoy your season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I have been very excited to talk to you all for a few weeks now, because this version of Power Book 4 is so unique compared to the others. Gabrielle, beginning with you, the Power universe has always been centered on strong women characters who were kind of rooted in their own strength, their own realness. What does Gloria bring to this story, do you think, that makes her unique from some of the other characters that we've seen in the Power universe previously?
I think something that makes her unique is that she's not sort of, when we first meet Gloria, she's not looking for a man. Like, she doesn't rely on these men. All these men are around her in her world, but she's not wanting Vic back. She actually isn't looking even when Tommy walks into the bar. She's running her own business, and even though she is sort of under the whole of the Flynn family, she's just super determined to get out from under them and pave her own way by any means possible. And she's completely fearless. She's around all these really powerful, strong, sometimes dangerous men, and she can really hold her own. yeah, she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. No pun
For
intended.
sure. See right there. I like that play on word. Good few words.
That's
Well
a nice
done.
button. That's a nice button. That's very good.
Hey, the lady. Thank you. And Shane, what I really like about Vic and the Flynn family as a whole, we've never seen a full family, a fully realized family within the Power universe. There's, factions of strong people, but now we have a familial unit. So Vic seems to be a little hot-headed, I guess you could say, compared to the other members of the family. Is that a pro or a con over the course of the season? Because within crime, is it a bad thing?
Yeah, I think it might be a bad thing, but it also can be, that recklessness. I think if he can harness it in the right way, I think it could be good. But it does get him in trouble a lot. And I would have to agree with you. I do love kind of that. The Flynns feel very reminiscent of the old school gangster family, like crime families. Like it feels very, grand, and like I love it. I think it creates a great dynamic for the show, and obviously working with Lili Simmons and Tommy Flannagan has been a real pleasure for me. So I hope people like the dynamic of the family.
I do. I certainly do. We've known this show has been coming for a while, but like most of the Power universe, it's shrouded in secrecy until we get there. So Gabrielle, beginning with you, how do you celebrate the win? Where were you when you got the call like, hey, we want you?
Goodness. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. It was a long 24 hours from when I did my final audition. I had four stages of auditions over like a 7-week period. It was very intense. And then when I did my final chemistry test with Joseph on Zoom, which was crazy, but we still, did a great job and made it work. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. And then finally I got the call from my agent, and they were all on the phone, and they told me, and I keep joking, that I cried so much that when I FaceTimed my mom, she thought that I was telling her I didn't get the role. So she was trying to pacify me on the phone. And I'm like, no, I did get it, but I couldn't even get my words out. And my family's a huge Power fan as well. It's so huge in the UK. So, representing for the UK on this show is just awesome for me.
Mm-hmm. And the same for you. I mean, Power is such an important part of just TV culture now. In a short amount of time, the 5 or 6 years that the universe has existed, how did you celebrate the win when you found out you were there, Vic?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's funny you mentioned the Zoom read with Joseph, because I had a Zoom read too with him for the last one, and it was so funny because like there was this deal scene that we were doing and holding guns at each other, like, and like we're on, it's on the camera. It was just so crazy that that's how we did it. Like it was an unbelievable process to have to get into the world that way. But Joseph was amazing on that read. And I felt really good leaving the read. I was so excited about it, but of course you never know. And I think I was like running errands, and they called to tell me that it was a go, and it was all happening. And I did cry as well, but I will admit that I did, because you work really hard to like get into these positions and opportunities, and like you said, it's such a the franchise itself is iconic. Its culture, it's so much more than just like a big gig. And so I think that's why I feel like we all, had that reaction. It's very emotional. It's like, wow, I can't believe I get to be a part of something, so large and iconic,
Mm-hmm. And especially the Tommy spinoff.
Especially,
my God, people are foaming at the bits, and I cannot
everyone
wait for
loves
this.
some Tommy.
It's going to be amazing. Well, congratulations to you both. Thank you for your time. I'm super excited for you. Thank you again for chatting.
We are too. Enjoy the season.
Oh, I will. Thank you. Hello, guys. Thank you. I have been excited for this for a few weeks now to do these interviews, and particularly to the two of you, because you're both very interesting to this story, but I don't want to ask you too much about your characters since we get off with a bang.
Yeah.
So Lucien, beginning with you, let me ask you this. The Power universe has consumed culture for the last 5-6 years now. It's a huge juggernaut in the TV space. So how do you celebrate when you get the call that you're part of this immense universe and being able to create something new?
I quit my job. That's how I celebrated. That's how I celebrated. I quit my job. I started watching like a bunch of different like gangster shows. I already loved the gangster shows and the gangster vibe. So I just locked in on the vibe and I was just excited about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Anthony, how about you? Did you quit your job too? What were you doing when you get the call?
Actually, I had just been laid off a couple of weeks before. I worked in group fitness, and it was right in the height of, COVID, and the health club industry took a big hit. And I was a group fitness instructor. So I was a couple of weeks removed from that. I got a call from Joseph, who I've known for over 20 years. And he was like, can I give you a number? This role's coming up. Can I give you a number to one of the EPs? He calls me like 10 minutes later on FaceTime, and we got the process rolling. Cut to, a month later or so, the EP's calling me back on FaceTime. I had my family around me, and he was like, yo, what are you doing in February to September next year? And it was just, I can't even describe the feeling. Talking to you about it now is just even, it is life-changing. It changed everything.
See, Tommy, Joseph, always been a real one from the very first, always been a real one from the very first, looking out for people. Lucien, for you, you said you love the gangster movies and that type of TV and film genre.
Even as a kid.
Who have been some iconic figures in that genre that you've enjoyed that have informed how you've played this part?
Ooh. Well, first of all, I studied power. So I locked in on the vibe of power. Joseph Sikora, the ghost character, all of the characters that came before, I really admire them and their work on this show. I also will watch things like Goodfellas. I watch Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. Like I want to lock in on The Wire. That's the only one that I think I haven't seen yet. So
say that too loud. Your mention's about to go crazy.
But I want to all of the old classic movies like really inspire me to give my all on set and to portray this vibe perfectly,
Mm-hmm. Anthony, for you, with the Power Universe, although they're all interconnected, this one feels very different and very unique compared to some of the previous shows. What do you think sets this one apart from the other versions of the show?
I think it's Tommy breaking away from New York. He's breaking away from everything he's known. It's him, we pick up right, when he's leaving New York and all of the loss that he's experienced, all of the people that he's lost. He's a shell of himself, of the man that we once knew. So he has to leave, and he's on a mission to rebuild himself. And I think Power fans, thanks to the genius writing from Courtney Kemp and her entire team, we are going to see Tommy in a light that we have never seen him, even in 6 past seasons of the show. You're really going to see Tommy, and the truth and honesty that Joseph brings to the role is really everything. Power fans have invested so much time and energy into this person, into this character, and they want to see what happens next. And Joseph definitely does not disappoint.
Mm-hmm. And neither do you guys. I can't wait for folks to see who you are.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's my time. Thank you, guys. I'm so excited for you in this season. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. It is a pleasure to talk to you today.
Hey, what's up, Giandra?
I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about this intro, and I thought about how many good times I've had to songs of yours throughout my life that I've heard out and just having a good time. And now you shift that ability to making a song that's for a show that's a really iconic part of just culture and just TV history in general. What is the most challenging part about nailing the sound for a show that's rich for the culture, but needs to be different from the song that we already know from the rest of the universe?
Right. You know what? I didn't really think too deep or too hard about it when I was shooting ideas when 50 at first hit me, because I shot him a couple ideas, but knowing that Joe definitely set the bar in the tone for anybody that ever thought that it was a theme song that could stick. Like you think about like Family Matters, you think about all shows, at least I grew up on that shit. The theme songs they stuck, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know, little things like that, like they would have to hopefully stick. But knowing Joe did what he did, I like what Charlie Wilson did off BMF. And I was just like, you know, let me go ahead and see, you know, how I'm gonna come in. Knowing that it was filmed in Chicago, I thought, especially with when 50 did what he did and sent it back to me, and then Lil Durk also being a part of it. I was like, okay, this Glass. I think it's a nice little 3-man weave that we can ball, you know, with, and hopefully people will get to, you know, I'm not trying to be like Joe or do what Joe did, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm gonna do me, and hopefully over time and weekly it'll grow on them, you know. Hopefully you too, if you see it, you know, as you see the season, which I'm also looking forward to.
I am as well. I've seen episode 1 and it starts off with the bang. And I like the sound of the song because Tommy does have a completely different vibe from Ghost and Kanan and just all these characters that we've known. Is it easier as a songwriter to create something new and not have to? We saw when they tried to change up the other song. We saw what happened with that. Is it easier?
I wasn't even thinking about it like that. I just, whatever, you know, I go with whatever feels right. I go with the feels. I don't, you know, I don't care how a song sound. I care how it feel. And when I was recording it, that's the first thing that was coming to mind, knowing I'm like, you know what, let me give some Chicago flavor to this. And also, knowing Tommy is tough. You know what I'm saying? If you really see like and be around him, he's a smooth, tough dude. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, this kind of felt like some classic 50. At the same time, like I love with Lil Durk, knowing I never heard him on that type of song before, that type of production. As usually he's on some drill, like, you know, club driven type of beat. So just to hear him slide on there like that, I thought was pretty dope as far as how we all came together. So definitely, I didn't feel no pressure though. So I'm, you know, it's like one of those things to me. I felt pressure on the camera, like acting, yeah, but not on the mic. I don't feel pressure. So.
For sure. What does this show mean for Chicago culture? Because I'm trying to think of the last show I saw that was centered in Chicago. So what does this mean for Chicago culture?
I think it's big because I feel like our city, I used to say it like influences the country, but I think we influence the world. And I mean, yeah, you have the people from Atlanta that, you know, a lot of artists there. New York also have people that influence, but Chicago, you have your LA influences, but we like the center of everything. We coming with the Midwest swing, and also for people to see the city like in another light, to see our landmarks, to see probably hopefully they go to Portillo's or something, get Italian beef or something. I don't know. It's just different. Our culture is just completely different, and to me, like a little bit of everybody, the best of all the world. So for the people to see that and be filmed in Chicago, I think this is big for the city for sure.
Well, salute to the city. Salute to Mambo Sauce. I love Chicago myself. And I thank you for the time, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.